Everyone, welcome to Art and Talk's Flash Show. Thank you so much for being with us and watching today. I'm Leslie Sue, the host for Flash. So today on our Flash Show, we have some talented writers on our panel. If you're new to Flash, let's just let you know what Flash is all about. Flash is a fun online get-together for artists to create art in a flash. It's all about being in the moment, exploring the unknown, and being together as creatives. So the way Flash works is there's a panel of artists, and as mentioned, we have a panel of talented writers for today, and we have a Flash Initiator who is also a writer as well. The Flash Initiator will be instructing the panel on the theme or topic that they are going to be writing about. Then the panel has 3 minutes to create a writing passage, or what we like to call art in a flash. Following the 3 minutes, each of the panelists will have an opportunity to share what they wrote, followed by discussion led by the Flash Initiator. So again, it's all in fun and being together and exploring the unknown and in the name of creativity. All right, so let's go ahead and meet our panel for today. I'd like to welcome Natalia. Hi, Natalia, welcome.
Hi, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, thank you for being here. And Adam, thank you for being on our panel as a writer.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here with other talented people.
Great to have you. All right, so now we'll introduce you to our Flash Initiator for today. She's also had a full-length interview on Art and Talk, so we're welcoming her back again. She's a talented writer as well. Welcome, Celia.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm excited about flexing my fiction muscle.
Yeah. All right. Anyone want to share how they're feeling before we get into what you're going to be writing about?
I'm eager to get into it. So
Yes.
All right.
Yes, I'm eager to know what the topic is.
All right, then we're just going to go ahead and dive right into it. Okay, just to give you a little heads up, Celia is going to repeat the topic twice. I'll make sure that you thoroughly understand. Please don't start to write until I give you the go ahead. Of course, we'll have silence for the 3 minutes and then I'll let you know when to end. So let's turn it over to Celia. What are the writers going to be writing about?
Okay, so I would like for you to write about bumping into your elementary school nemesis in a public place of your choice. So it could be somebody who bullied you, or maybe you were the bully, or just someone you didn't like, anything you like. Bumping into your elementary school nemesis in a public place of your choice.
Okay, is that clear to everyone?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Okay, if you want to get ready and let's go. Okay, please stop writing. That concludes the 3 minutes. All right, before we get into the writing passage, would either of you like to share what that 3 minutes was like?
I felt it went really quickly.
Yeah, 3 minutes just went whoosh, gone.
Yeah, really fast, huh? Yeah. All right. Celia, I'm gonna go ahead and open the floor to you. You want to go ahead and let's have one of our panelists go ahead and read what they wrote. Okay, Natalia, would you like to go first?
Yeah, I'm happy to go first. Okay. So, when I saw her, it was like all I knew about judgment and what I should not do. But I did it anyway. I looked at her thighs, I looked at her wrinkles, I looked at her patches of grey in her hair, and I felt a kind of satisfaction which I was not at all proud of, but it filled me with a warm feeling nonetheless. Why was she so awful to me in elementary school? What did I ever do to her? Now she was smiling and so eager to make conversation. Now I felt she was the one busting to be my friend. But I don't believe people inherently change.
Oh.
Wow, very good, fantastic. Celia, yeah.
I really love that beginning, the anxiety over judging this person, but at the same time feeling good about it. That's very, very good. Maybe some dialogue would have followed, I think. There's an indication that
yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's like, but yeah, the 3 minutes went so quickly, but that's what I was sort of feeling like, needed to sort of hear what we were going to say to each other.
But I love the interior monologue. It's very real. And the details of, her body, the gray hair, it's wonderful.
Thank you.
Natalia, would you like to share? Were you kind of making this up as it went along? Was this an actual kind of experience that you experienced, or did you have a friend that experienced this?
Well, I did remember running, because I don't live in Australia where I grew up now, but I did remember I was at a party very, very, very long time ago, but that I did see, a girl from school who wasn't particularly nice to me. And so that's what I was drawing from with some of the sentiments, not exactly that, but it was that kind of idea that I was sort of just there almost criticizing her in my head, just to think, okay, so, now you're being nice to me, but why weren't you then,
Mm-hmm. And when Celia gave you this topic, Natalia, did you immediately know you were going to write about this, or did you have a few options in your mind, or did you just go like straight to it?
No, it was, I just sort of thought of that moment, because that was the closest that I had felt to something. I wasn't actually sure elementary school, because that's not a term I'm familiar with, but I thought that was high school. I don't know. But anyway, I just thought this was the closest I could think of from my own experience. So I was just drawing from that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you did a great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Before we get to Adam, Celia, was there anything else you wanted to address with Natalia?
I'm so sorry about the elementary school thing. I didn't think of that. What would you call
That's
it?
fine.
Primary school?
Oh, it's primary school.
Yeah, I think it works
Okay.
with high school.
But it's kind of the same anyway. I think, well, anyway, I was at the same primary and secondary school for a while, so it wouldn't have changed my answer anyway, so that's fine.
No, but I'm glad you made the choice that you did, because I think when you're a teenager, your emotions are much more complex. So I think it makes for a better contrast. So
All
this
right.
is fortunate.
Great, great. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's difficult sometimes with just the different terms that we use, even though we all share the same language, but obviously, yeah. But that's fine, no problem at all.
Okay.
all right, Adam, let's go hear what you wrote, please.
Sure. Ricky was always bigger than me. I don't know if it was because he was held back. I never cared enough to find out why, but I had to cut through his yard to get to the school a short way. Most days, it was fine. He wouldn't be there. Maybe he was at school. Maybe he was skipping that day. Again, I didn't care. But then there were the days he was around and he'd be on me from the moment I came into sight. So then years later, I go into a store and there he is. Good old Ricky, looking tired and worn. He recognized me, which surprised me. I'd moved away from the town years earlier and was only back to visit. Hey, he yells across the front and hustles over. Oh, crap, I think.
You got up there.
That was great. Great.
You were able to write quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
Years of typing.
And I like that you told us a little bit about the past before the encounter. Where do you think you would have taken it if you had had a little bit more time after that connection had been made? Well, how do you think that would have gone?
I think it would have been, I think there would have been some exploration of and misremembering of the past, because I don't think Ricky would have remembered it the same way I did. He probably had much softer memories of childhood than me, because he was the one picking on, not being picked on. Anyways, that was kind of the direction my mind was going.
Yeah, I think that would work. It's funny how both of you picked you chose to say something about how the person hadn't aged well. That's a nice sort of revenge kind of mentality there. I like that. I think it's what all of us would see if we were to have this encounter in real life. Even though it might not be true, we would relish seeing that bully, not doing well in some way. So I think that hits at the right emotional level. So
yeah, I had to think a little bit because I bounced around through several different schools, as a kid, and like I said in the piece, I moved away when I was a teenager, so I really haven't seen anybody back there. So we were really, the first half of it is real, the second half of it is pure fiction.
right.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen any of them.
Okay.
And I wonder why you chose to have him be the one to single you out, instead of you maybe going up to him and saying something like, hey, you remember me? Was that a conscious choice or just how you imagined it?
I think I'm visualizing it as, since I'm coming back to the area, I'd be a familiar face, but not immediately familiar. It might ring a bell, and I'm in there, I'm in the store looking for something and then getting out of there. I'm not looking for anybody I used to go to school with. And if he's working in the store, he's looking at everybody. He sees everybody in the town all the time. And now here's this, oh, okay, wait, I don't know him, but I do know him. That face is familiar. Wait a second, who is it? Oh, I remember.
Yeah. I think given more time, you could work on the store a little bit more, sort of delay that moment of tension where the meeting actually takes place by telling us the scenery a little bit and giving us some insight into the kind of place where he's working. I think that would help to build character too.
Mhm.
There's something there. There's something really nifty there.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think both of you guys did a great job. And I know 3 minutes is really just, not a lot of time, but that's what it's all about on Flash is just, really trying to see what we can produce as a creative in that flash amount of time. I also just wanted to address a question also to Natalia. When you were writing, did you have some visuals going on that was helping you to write? Was it just really words? Was it just flowing? Like, can we just tap in a little bit to the process during those 3 minutes that was writing what you wrote about?
Yes. Well, I think I was very much in that scene that I was there because I was at this party. I can still picture the room and some of the other people that were there and my feelings. So I think that's where I was transported to. Because I'm on the computer with my Zoom, I didn't write on my computer. I chose the notebook, and I usually love the notebook, but I must say it was probably a lot slower than typing, which is a pity, but I do love writing. So yeah, it was sort of a slower process, and I did have a lot of time to really get into that room where that party was. I felt like I was transported to Australia for a while, which was nice. And then suddenly I heard the noise and it was like, oh my gosh, the 3 minutes finished. I couldn't believe it. It felt like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
It really did.
Yeah, went super fast. Well, we still have a few minutes. Celia, I'm just wondering, how did you come up with this idea? Because you have a field of all possibilities of what you're
Yes, I wanted to ask the same.
I wanted to find something that had a built-in conflict. Do you know what I mean? Something that would help you develop a little bit of a narrative in such little time. So, I mean, other things could be more descriptive or, might not have a story to it, but, meeting someone from the past always has a story attached to it. It doesn't even have to be a nemesis, just someone you haven't seen in a long time. You have to catch up. You always do the measuring, how did they do? How did I do?
Mhm.
So there's a built-in narrative to that kind of scenario that I thought would work for a mini Flash piece.
I can see how that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Before we wrap up our Flash show, I'm going to go to our Flash Initiator. Celia, is there anything else you wanted to kind of quickly touch upon for either Natalia or for Adam?
Natalia, I wanted to give you the same comment that I told Adam, which was that if you wanted to, pursue this and actually write a longer piece, the setting is what could create some tension there. If you were sort of walking us through the party first and pausing here and there, you grab a little appetizer or a drink or something, and you're scanning the room. And so, a little sort of build up before we meet, her.
And how it's just really awkward. That's what it ends up being, I suppose, because it's kind of like, do you remember what was going on? Even though it was like 20 years before. Yeah.
And then also how you mentioned that you could have then gone on to write about what was being said. I think that's true for both of you also. That's something that could go either way. Are you going to confront this person? Is it too late? Do you suddenly realize that the damage wasn't quite as bad as you thought, or have you perhaps been waiting a long time to say some things to this person? So it could go in several different directions, I think, if you wanted it to.
No, I do think it's a clever topic in the sense that I do think it's something that everybody can relate to. On some level, everybody will have their own little stories that will come back.
That's never happened to me, by the way.
It hasn't, or it did?
It never did. No, I had a nemesis, but I've never met her, and I don't know if I bumped into her whether I would. I'm sure she wouldn't recognize me, but I would recognize her because she had this very bright red hair that I'm sure by now isn't so bright. But
okay,
you know, I don't think I would approach her. I would just sort of look at her and run away.
Avoid her. Yeah. But you can relate to it because obviously I think everybody has that person from school. I mean, we've all been through that. So that's why I thought it was quite a clever topic, because it does bring everybody's thoughts back to some incident at school. So
I'm glad you enjoyed writing about it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was a great presentation, writing passage for the panel, Celia. Something that, that I think both of you really, could relate to, and something that's interesting to look back upon, as an adult, and kind of seeing it from, like, as you were saying, Celia, from kind of the same perspective, but yet a different perspective, a little bit more like detached, a little bit more, as time has gone on and we've experienced more. So awesome what you presented to them. And before we close out, we have just about a few minutes or so. Anybody on the panel like to share something before we close out for our flash?
The only thing that went through my head very quickly, a couple of songs from the 80s, Bruce Springsteen, Glory Days, again, looking back on the past. And there's a John Cougar Mellencamp song where, again, he's looking back on the past, and some of the guys from school that he didn't get along with, and they all bump into each other, and they go back inside and they and they reminisce. The memory has softened the events of however many years in the past it was. So it's funny how things work like that.
I'm so glad that you shared that, Adam, because as creatives, we can draw upon, that auditory sense, even though, being writers, there's, you were hearing some different songs that related to the time. It all kind of, works together in the same mix, or we might have some visuals going on. We have the words. So I really appreciate you sharing that. We kind of get some insight into, the way that you might approach some of your writing.
Yes. No, and just thinking about it too, because you'd asked before what I was thinking when I was writing, and I remember too, I was actually transplanted to the school as well, where I was, and that building, which I think I sometimes dream about it or something, because it is something that comes up because I was there for so many years. So it is all very vivid and visual, and yeah, it's wonderful. But no songs came up for me, and usually songs do. But
that's cool. You had that strong visual, and as you said, you even like dreamed about it. So that's kind of like a prominent kind of visual that you have that brought up in the writing passage.
Yeah.
All right.
If you think about it for a little bit, you would think of some songs. It's so evocative, and it's funny that we're all sort of the same age. Those songs mean things to me as well. I love including song lyrics in writing, and it just immediately puts you in a particular time and place. So that's a very good observation.
Yeah. All right, we're going to need to wrap up our flash show. I'd like to thank our panel of writers, Natalia And Adam, thank you so much for participating. Again, I thought you did a fantastic job creating art in a Flash with your writing passage. And I'd like to thank our Flash Initiator, Celia. Thank you so much. You did a great job. I love what you presented. And I love the questions that you presented afterwards. And what a great discussion that we had. Thank you guys so much. All right, so thank you again, everyone, for watching our Flash show. We would like for you to stay connected with us on our Facebook page and find out about our upcoming Flash shows. We do have another one coming up for poets at the end of January. You can find out more information about that on our Facebook page, and please stay connected with us on our social media YouTube channel as well. Please subscribe. We'll also be presenting all of the social media links to our panel of writers and our Flash Initiator, so you can stay connected with them, see what's going on with them, stay connected with them, find out about their writings, new books that are out, all that good stuff. So thank you again, everyone, for watching our Flash for today. Until then, stay well and be blessed.